Hi students, today I'm going to show you how to use EBSCOhost, the Academic Search Complete, to find information to use for your research paper. So to get to this page, I've already logged into my account, my El Camino account, through the library. So if you're accessing EBSCOhost from a different site, it may look slightly different. So let's get started. So first of all, I've got a search field here, and there are also some search options and parameters you can select. But what I'm going to do is start here, and then I will narrow my search results from that point. So I'm still working with the title, with subject food insecurity. And you'll notice that I already have an option here for food insecurity in the United States. And since that's something I want to focus on, I'm going to begin here. But notice that it also populates some other related topics, and you may find that with your subject as well. So I'm going to click food insecurity in the United States and have it search. And then I'm going to get a lot of results. You'll notice that I have almost 2,000 results, and that's far more than I'm going to want to have to sift through. So I'm going to look over here to the limit to section on the left. And one of the things I'm interested in are recent results. So I'm going to slide this bar over to the right. So I'm going to start with 2016 to 2020 so that I get results that are more recent. You'll notice this still gives me quite a lot of results to work through. Not that I have to look at all of them, but it's quite a lot of results. So you'll notice also that I can restrict my search to full text results, references, scholarly or peer-reviewed journals, and you may find that at times you're asked to use peer review sources, so that's good to know moving forward. And then down here, I also have source types. So one of the things I really want is I want to limit my results to full text, because if I don't do that, some of my results will just be an abstract, which does not give me the full article. And so that's typically not so helpful. So now I've narrowed my results down quite a bit to 320. So from here, I'm going to scroll through these different sources, and I'm skimming the titles. And if there's an abstract, I may look at that too. I'll look at the type of source it is. Academic journals, I'm going to find a lot of those to decide which ones I think might work for my research paper. And then I'm going to save them to review in more depth later. So as I scroll down, one of the first things I come to is College Students in SNAP, the new face of food insecurity in the United States. This is an academic journal. I can click the PDF to get the full text if I wish. If I click on just the link of the title, you'll see it gives me more information. It gives me the abstract, which tells me what the article is about. So that's a nice place to skim to see if this is something that I want to use. And then as I scroll down, you'll notice here I have an option to listen to the article being read. So that's kind of nice to know for the future. And then I have this whole article here. So I have a lot of information with some headings, food pantries, meal vouchers. So just skimming through this, I can see that this may be something that I do want to use for my research paper. So over here, I can click on the full text if I'd like. On the right here, I have options for saving the article. So you have several different ways of going about this. Saving it to Google Drive. If your student Google Drive account is activated, this may be a good place to place it. You can also save these. You can export them. I also just like to email it. I usually save these articles in a couple different places because once I do my search, I don't want to have to go back and try to find things a second time. So if I'm choosing to email it, obviously I'm just going to put in my email. And I can give it a subject if I want to. And send it. And then eventually I will find that that's going to be in my email box. Okay, so next up, one other link over here I want to direct your attention to is the citation link. So if I click on Cite, I get all these different formats available. And for this paper, I'm using MLA. So it automatically gives me an MLA citation here. So what I'm going to do is copy it. So I'm highlighting it and I'm clicking Control-C on my keyboard to copy it. And then I've already opened up a Google Doc that's my rough Works Cited page. Keep in mind that when you're writing your paper and submitting it, your Works Cited is actually part of that research paper document. But for my purposes, I want to have a rough Works Cited started so that I don't have to go back later and figure out how to format all of the articles and sources that I use. So now I'm going to Control V to paste it. And you'll notice that for one thing, it does not have a hanging indent and it's not double spaced. I can fix that later when all of the sources are listed. But one of the things I do want to fix now is this gray highlighting behind the text, which is really faint, but I want to remove that. There we go, because sometimes it's a little bit hard to see and you don't want to have that gray highlighting when you submit your paper. So now that I've got that source saved, I'm going to go back to my results and then I'm going to scroll through and find a couple of additional sources. So alternatives to SNAP, let's see, links to Supplemental Nutrition Assistant Program, that's also SNAP, household food insecurity, scrolling down, HIV, women at risk, food insecurity by the numbers, more than 10% of the US lacks consistent access to healthy food. This is a periodical, so it's from this source here, Congressional Digest. So that one I'm going to click on because this looks like it might give me that information about food insecurity basically by the numbers, so I can see how many people this affects. So this is an excerpt from the U.S. Department of Agriculture Economic Research Services report. So that's the, this is the abstract. Let's click on the full text and see what we find here, if this is something that I think I want to use. Okay, so I like that this is broken down into little chunks of information. This is not a very lengthy source. It's only a little over a page, but I always like to have some statistics and numbers to back my findings. So this is something that I might want to use. So again, I'm going to click to email myself the article or save it to my drive or export it. And then again, I'm going to go to my citation, scroll down to MLA. I'm going to highlight and Control C to copy, go back up here and paste it. And I'm going to remove my highlighting again. Okay, and you'll notice once again, I'm just to repeat, this will need to be double spaced with no additional space between entries and with a hanging indent. There's a couple of other tutorials that show you how to do that. So I will continue working through sources in this way to try to find more sources that I'm going to need to actually reference that then I can go through and look at more carefully to identify information that I'm actually going to use. So if I need to have, say, 5 sources referenced in my research paper, I'm going to shoot for having about 10 to work with initially, because as I work through those, I may find that some of them are not as helpful as I thought, and so I may not use them at all. And of course, I'd remove them from my Works Cited page at that point. In addition, I can go back and I can refine my search. So if I decide that I primarily want to focus on college students, or I primarily want to focus on children or single moms or single parents, I can further refine my search parameters and then to find more narrow information that might fit. So hopefully that gives you a good start on how to look up information using EBSCO, the Academic Search Complete. Good luck and keep at it.